Thanks for having me. Yeah, cheers. First off, everyone, I want to say congratulations. You did it. You graduated the class of 2022, and it takes something to graduate. You showed up, you contributed to this community, a community that's over 4 million strong in the United States, and that's produced incredible business leaders, famous athletes, and famous actors. Now, I have a question for you. Who knows Michael Jordan? Maybe it's a dumb question. Any basketball fans out there? Well, he went through the Boys and Girls Club. Who knows Jennifer Lopez? Any music fans out there? She graduated from the Boys and Girls Club. And this one's a little more tricky, but does anyone know Denzel Washington? Okay, cool. He graduated from the Boys and Girls Club. And the reason I'm excited to speak to you today is I don't know which of you is going to be the next Michael Jordan, the next Jennifer Lopez, or the next Denzel Washington. And you see, these famous people are no different than you. You have that same potential inside of you. But the Denzel Washingtons of the world realized that they were the hero in their own movie. And he picked up the pen and he wrote a script of a life that moved and inspired him. And you guys can do the same thing. You guys are all the heroes in your own movie. And I hope that this speech encourages you to pick up your own pen and start writing furiously, to write a script that moves and inspires you and generations to come. This might sound crazy to say, but I hope that when you're in old age, sitting in your rocking chair, which is a long way away, you're watching your memories like reruns of the best movie that you ever saw. Now, the mission of the Boys and Girls Club has a key component. It's helping individuals achieve their full potential. So today I want to talk about the secret to achieving your full potential. And it's one thing, and it's so simple, but the reality is success is simple. But I didn't say success was easy. This one simple thing is having the courage to take action in your life. So let's dive into what that looks like. Every day in this moment, constantly we have a decision in front of us. Are we going to be a spectator in the game of life, watching people who are in action on the court play the game and chase their dreams? Or are we going to risk getting on the court and pursuing our dreams? I could tell you guys are literally on the court, so you're doing that. And I say risk getting on the court because when you get on the court in life, you actually take action and you pursue your dreams instead of just thinking about them or talking about them. There's a chance that you could fail, just like you could lose a basketball game. Or there's a chance that you could get hurt, just like I did when I played some of you guys out here. We're playing over their pickup, and I got an elbow to the eye. I actually started bleeding, but you know, it was worth it. And it wasn't going to stop me because I had a great time, and my eye eventually healed. It healed pretty quickly. And the other thing you risk when you get on the court in life and take action and pursue your dreams is looking bad. And when I was playing basketball that other day with y'all, I certainly looked bad. I airballed a shot, and it was super embarrassing, but that embarrassment went away when I hit that next shot. The reason people who get on the court in life and take action are willing to risk what they need to risk to live life is because they know they can experience the joy of succeeding, of hitting that shot, of getting that W. And they realize that the people who are spectators on the sidelines, although they're comfortable and safe, they will never experience that true joy. I want to encourage you guys to take action in spite of your fear, especially after talking to one of my buddies, Charlie Jouse. He's a mental skills coach for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Do you guys know that professional baseball team? Are you somewhat familiar? And I asked him in an interview on my YouTube channel, what separates professional athletes from typical people? Why are they so extraordinary? And he said, Chris, they are professional doers. It's that simple. Someone, when they were young and they were destined to be a baseball player, started taking swings at batting practice, and they've taken swings every day ever since. So if you take anything away from this talk, I want to encourage you guys to be professional doers, and I want to encourage you guys to not become spectators in your own life. Because too many people go to their grave with their dreams stuck in their head and in their heart. And that's a shame. That's one of the biggest regrets of the dying, actually, is not becoming their full self. There's even a book on the regrets of the dying. And the other thing is, you know, action is the gateway to greatness and potential, but it's also the solution to most of our problems in life. Has anyone in here ever felt a little confused, like they didn't know what they wanted to do with their life? I felt that way too, right? Thanks for the hand up. But what is so unexpectedly simple and powerful is that when we take action and we try a new job and we figure out we don't like it or we do like it, we learn more about ourselves. Or we take a test online to learn about our strengths, and then when we discover our strengths, we can double down on that and give our gift. We learn something about ourselves, or we read a book, or we start a YouTube channel. We learn more about ourselves. And one amazing way to take action to get to know your purpose and find clarity is to look at your problems and to face them. Because when you solve your problems, on the other side, you can help others solve theirs. I've found in my life, and many folks have found this, that problems are our biggest call to adventure and purpose. How about the person who's a little bit overweight, they're not healthy, but then they transform their life? We've seen this on YouTube. And they get in amazing shape, and then they become a physical trainer or a personal trainer, and they help many other people solve that same problem. That is so meaningful, and also it's a way to make money. When we find a need and solve a problem and offer a great level of service, the world responds and you get paid for that. So another problem that taking action solves, and maybe you've experienced this because I certainly have, is being depressed. It's actually okay to feel bad sometimes. Has anyone ever felt that way before? Well, I went through a pretty bad depression in the pandemic. It was a hard time. And although I wanted to sleep quite a bit, I didn't want to do anything. Eventually, I took action. One of those actions was working out, and then happy chemicals started going in my brain. Another was I started doing community service to get off myself and focus on others, and I was happier. Another thing is I took a step in the direction of my goals, and I felt proud and productive. Taking baby steps and acting was the way out of depression. So I encourage you guys, when you're feeling down or sad, take action, and you'll find yourself being happier, and you'll find your way out. Has anyone ever felt fearful or anxious before? It's pretty human, right? I feel a little fearful and anxious right now. But what's incredible is action is the solution to anxiety and fear. The thing is, when you face your fear, it doesn't go away, but it becomes less powerful because you become stronger. You become stronger than that fear and more courageous. And the more you face your fear and get out of your comfort zone, like getting up and speaking if you're afraid of speaking, that comfort zone expands and gets bigger and bigger, and eventually the whole world is within it. Now, I want to talk about why people don't take action. It's something we all deal with. Sometimes we are stopped. And maybe the best way to describe this is by talking about how this thing between our two eyes, our brain, actually works. There's a part of our brain called the subconscious. It's very powerful, it's behind the scenes, and it runs a lot of the show in our lives. It's even more powerful than the conscious mind. And it was formed back in caveman days, with cavemen and cavewomen, when we were trying to survive and not be eaten by saber-toothed tigers or woolly mammoths. It was basically a don't-get-killed device trying to predict what could go wrong. And that brain did a great job of protecting us, but it still does that same thing in today's world, but we're not being chased by woolly mammoths anymore or saber-toothed tigers. Those threats are invisible now. It's fear and, failure and rejection, things that might never happen, and that causes a lot of problems. So this brain that is designed to protect us and keep us safe also keeps us small and living within a box. Action is the way to prove that voice inside your head that's telling you not to do something wrong. And I want to tell you a quick story from my life to illustrate the power of overriding that voice in your head that's trying to keep you playing safe, that developed back in caveman days. When I was a kid, I was a fast runner. I wasn't the fastest, but I was one of the fastest in my elementary school. And we would have races out in the field at lunchtime. I'd win most races, but there were definitely races where I wouldn't even try because that voice in my head said, Chris, Ryan is faster than you, and you're gonna lose, and you're gonna look bad, and you're gonna get embarrassed. And I gave into that voice quite a bit over the years, and so I didn't try a lot of things. Well, fast forward, many years later, I'm working at Google, and I'm on the office floor, and my friend Ryan, a boisterous guy, says, hey, Chris, you should arm wrestle Joe. And that voice came up immediately and said, Chris, don't do it. He's bigger and stronger than you. You're going to get beat, you're going to get embarrassed, and you're going to look bad. But as people started to gather around from the office and see if we were going to arm wrestle or not, I made a decision to not listen to that voice and actually arm wrestle him. So we get up to the table, we're looking in each other's eyes, we clasp hands, and 3, 2, 1, go. And we put all our force into each other's palms, and we're shaking, right in the center for what felt like an eternity. It was probably only 2 or 3 minutes, and something miraculous happened. I actually won. And in that moment, I felt transformation. I didn't give into that voice, and I realized I would never let that voice stop me again, that caveman voice, and I would actually use it as a trigger for action. There are a couple other reasons why we don't take action. One is fear of uncertainty. We think we need to have the perfect plan, and we don't know how to achieve our dreams and start our business, so we don't take action, when in reality, action leads to clarity, and the stars start to align when you take action. People and opportunities come into your life. So when you feel uncertain, that's okay, still take action. Another thing that stops us from taking action is fear of failure and rejection, and that's completely normal. But what I've found in my life when I started a YouTube channel is there was one day where I spent hours filming a video, and it turned out I didn't set up the camera correctly, and it was all blurry. And I was so upset, I broke a light bulb and cut myself, but then I gathered myself, learned my lesson, and did it again. Well, I heard a story of a girl that I talked to that wanted to make Sephora YouTube videos, and the same thing happened. She didn't cut herself, but she filmed, and then it just didn't work out, and she never filmed again. Don't let failure stop you. Keep going. And the final reason we don't take action in our lives is because we're waiting for inspiration to hit us, like fairy dust, when in reality, action leads to inspiration, which triggers action and more inspiration. So I just want to finish up by encouraging you to take the most courageous action and one of the greatest actions you can take in your life, which is to ask for help. The most successful people in the world, CEOs, entrepreneurs, actors, and actresses, all realize that it's actually stronger to ask for help than not to, and that we go further together versus doing things on our own strength. So figure out if there's a mentor in your community or doing something that you want to do, who that person is, and don't be afraid to reach out to them, or don't be afraid to reach out to me. I'm here to support you, and you guys are amazing. So don't be afraid to ask for help. I think it is such an underrated action that you can take in life. So I want to finish up with a call to action, given this is a talk on action. Take some time over the next week or so and figure out what your dreams are. You might already have an idea. And write them out and figure out what are 3 things I can do today to take action on this dream. And if you knock those out, the next day write 3 more things, and do that for a month and see how your life transforms and how the world responds. And finally, as I said before, ask someone for help, because we can't do it all on our own, and it's actually a powerful, strong thing, and we all win together. You guys are incredible. I've met some of you. You have so much potential, and I want you to know that whatever your dreams are, you're worthy of them, and when you take action and commit to them, they're available to you in this abundant and giving world. So thank you so much, and congratulations.